Okay, paragraph 2 in Sichot Haran. So, in this paragraph, Rabbi Nachman basically talks about um, his derech, his everyday way of thinking about Hashem. And he advises us how we should also think about Hashem. And this is probably one of the most important pieces of advice in this sefer that Rabbi Nachman offers. Although every paragraph is filled with amazing advice for all of us um, in our relationship with Hashem. So, I mean, so he starts out, Tov me'od hashlich atzmo al Hashem yitbarach u'lesnoch alav. That in everything we do, from the time we wake up in the morning, this is Rabbi Nachman talking. What he says is that he makes an actual declaration. He says, very very good thing to do this. That whatever happens, I'm throwing it on you, Hashem. It's not me, it's you. Vidarki kisheba hayom ani moser kol atunuot sheli v'shel banai. So not only with me, but with my sons and my daughters and my wife, my entire family, basically, that whatever happens today, Hashem, I'm waking up early in the morning. I'm saying before my day even starts, whatever I say, whatever my family says, whatever we don't say, whatever we do, whatever we don't do, whatever we keep, whatever we don't keep. I want to do, I'm your servant, Hashem. I want to do what you want, and I'm throwing my day on you. I'm giving my day over to you, Hashem. So from here on out, it's not me, it's you. Doesn't absolve us of everything throughout the day, but it's a mindset that this is whatever happens today. I'm throwing it literally. I'm casting upon lechashlich. I'm throwing. I'm putting upon you, Hashem, my day. So please guide me. And he says to do this, it's a good thing to do this every day, to have in mind yourself and to have in mind your family. And by doing this, and also in everything you have, I guess your workers, um, he says again, vizet tov meod. So he uses this word tov meod. It's a very good thing to do this. It says by doing this, gamazai ein tzarech ledoag hashuv. That once you're doing this, that's it. You're done for the day. You have no more worries. You have no more. You're not getting tight. You're not stressed out because you realize that whatever happens from this point on, you've made this declaration in the morning that whatever you're going to encounter that day, you've already given it over to Hashem. So whatever you're getting back that day, it's from Hashem. So it's from Hashem, it's good. So you don't need to worry that you're doing something wrong, that this is happening because you made a wrong move, you said the wrong thing, whether it's to a customer, to an employer, to your wife, and you should worry about that. But to your kids, that that whatever happens that day, it's not on you, it's on Hashem. And Hashem, and to have confidence that Hashem is going to guide you every day, but especially when you're making this declaration and you're handing over everything to Hashem, that for sure you'll be guided in the right way. It says that also in how you're acting, whether you're behaving properly or not properly, since you're relying on Hashem, you're obviously going to try and act properly, but to realize that Rav says something very interesting about free will. Not that that's talking about it in this paragraph is not, but he says that what is his definition of free will? He says that before the fact, whatever fact it is, it's you, me. I'm choosing. After something happens, after the fact, it's Hashem. It's a very interesting definition of free will, but it's an amazing thing. Before the fact, it's me. After the fact, it's Hashem. So by doing this, by making this declaration in the morning, that you're saying, I want to do what Hashem wants. I want to do what you want, Hashem. By starting the day with this, you're basically plugging in to Hashem, and you don't need to worry. Rav Maimon says something very interesting. Rav Maimon's actually Rav Nosson Maimon is a major Rav in Breslov, and one of my rabbis also, and he says something that I find very interesting. He says that one of the ploys that the Yetzer Hara uses on us is that when things start to go wrong throughout the day, we feel alone. It doesn't matter, we can have our wives, we can have our children, we can have our employees or our employer, but when things start to go wrong, it's very hard to recognize Hashem. And we start asking ourselves questions, where are you, Hashem? What are you doing to me? And you get angry. And this is from the Yetzer Hara, that 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 but by making this declaration in the morning that I'm throwing my day, I'm throwing myself on you, Hashem, you've plugged in. And now that you're plugged in, whatever happens throughout the day, you know that you're not alone, whether it's in parnasa, whether it's in health, whether it's in things you're saying or not saying, actions you're doing or not doing, anything, your mitzvahs, your averas, you're not alone. You're plugged into Hashem, and everything is from Hashem. So you're not alone, which is a very different way of going about our day. There was a story that I heard once in Shir from Rav Dror Kasuto in Israel. He was also another rabbi, a very very close friend and teacher of mine. And he told a story once, an office cleaner who would come in the middle of the night after all to an office building, and that was his parnasa. He cleaned offices at night, and it was a 4-story office building, and he would start on the first floor and make his way up, and then come back down in the morning and leave. So the guy, this was a second job. He comes in at midnight, and he started the office. I guess they just had a party. So he says, "Okay, I'm here." He starts sweeping the floors and mopping the floors and cleaning the desks off and emptying the garbage. He's exhausted, and he limps back to the elevator to go to the second floor. And there's a chair in the elevator, the old-time elevators used to have, a bench, whatever. He decides, I'm going to sit down for a few minutes, and he's sitting down and says, "Okay, I need to get back up now." Pushes the button to get out, and he gets out. He's shocked. What's going on? I don't understand. I just cleaned this. Did somebody playing a trick on me? He looks around him, and there's papers all around, and there's garbage on the floor, and empty water bottles, and all kinds of stuff all over. He says, "Hashem, what are you doing to me? I'm exhausted. This is my second job. My wife is waiting at home for me. My kids, I know will never get home on time. Please, what are you doing to me?" And he's asking himself all these crazy questions, and he gets out of the elevator, and he says, "You know what? I don't have a choice. This is my job. If I don't do it, we're not making Shabbos. I don't have any money." Gets out, and he starts cleaning. And he's cleaning again, and he's emptying the trash baskets, and he's emptying all the garbage out, and loads of garbage bags are coming out, and cleaning the floors again, and cleaning the bathrooms. The guy's exhausted, and he gets down, and this time he doesn't even have enough energy. He sits down on the floor of the elevator. He says, "I just need a few seconds." Closes his eyes. Gets up. Lo and behold, this story repeats itself a third and a fourth time. And as you can probably tell, the moral of the story, or the point of the story, is that he wasn't, again, cleaning the same floor. He wasn't on the same floor. He was falling asleep, and the elevator was going up, and he was on the next floor. It's a 4-story building. And the point of this story, and I think how it relates to this chapter, is that, like Rav Maimon said, that the Yetzer Hara, the biggest ploy, he wants to make us feel that we're alone, that we're not with Hashem, we're not with anyone. Our averas, our mitzvahs, we're responsible to do the right thing, to not do the wrong thing, to say the right thing, to not say the wrong thing, and we don't realize that we have Hashem. And what this guy didn't realize that this office cleaner is that, in what Rav Kasuto mentions, it's a very interesting thing, is that in life we're always going up, whether we realize it or whether we don't realize it. And in Breslov, it's a very big thing to know how to climb and also how to fall. And even our falls are not really falls. They're really, there's Rabbi Nachman says that to go up on a ladder, you have to first bend your knee to go down and then go up. So if you think about it that way, there's no such thing as going down. There's only ascension, only going up. And like this office worker, what he didn't realize is if you use a mashal, an analogy, and you say that, so okay, so the garbage that he was picking up is his own Yetzer Hara and his own perceptions of what was his inadequacies, what was wrong with him, and that's what he was seeing. But what he didn't realize is that on a higher way of looking at things was that he cleaned up his Yetzer Hara on the first floor. He slayed it. It's done. It was good. It was done. He got on the elevator. He went up already. When he got out on the second floor, it was a higher level Yetzer Hara, and the third floor and the fourth floor. But he was still climbing. The problems were still there, but he was perceiving them on a different madrega. His level kept going up, and we keep going up. And if we were to start our day like this, we would be able to see that. So the next point that's made in this paragraph is he talks about Shabbos and Yontif. That it says in the Mishnah Berurah that for a person to properly keep Shabbos, you'd have to learn all of the halachas at least 70 times. 70 times to learn the Mishnah Berurah, the halachas of Shabbos, would take you a few years. Um, and the question is, so what are we supposed to do until then? We'll be Michal Shabbos. We're not going to keep Shabbos. You didn't get through the laws and just the Mishnah Berurah, not the Shulchan Aruch. Just to get through the laws of Shabbos once is a major achievement, but to get through it 70 times, and that's what the Mishnah Berurah says, you need to do to properly keep Shabbos. So Rabbi Nachman says here that in that too, that in keeping Shabbos and Yontif, that to say that Hashem, you've given us Shabbos. I want my Shabbos to be the way you want it to be, and whatever happens after that, it's not on you. Whatever happens after that, you've given it over to Hashem. So whatever you're getting back is exactly what Hashem wants for you right now. So that, I think, is the next thing that I wanted to talk about. That we find ourselves at very different points in life, and life takes us in very interesting directions. And it's very important to realize that wherever we are right now is if we're making this statement that I want to do what you want, Hashem, and I want to start my day by plugging into you, and please help me to realize that you're with me and that I'm not alone. That if you're doing that, that wherever you're at, it's exactly where Hashem wants you to be. You're doing exactly what Hashem wants you to be doing. You're saying what Hashem wants you to say. You're keeping Shabbos and Yontif exactly the way and where Hashem wants you to keep it. And by doing this, you have nothing to worry about. You have no worries. This also, he says that this level of handing yourself and your day over to Hashem is different for every single person on very different levels. Similar to the story of the guy in the elevator, everyone's on different levels. All right, so that is it for Sichot Haran. Chovos Halavavos, paragraph 2 in Shar Bitachon. Okay, so we're talking about the benefits of trust in Hashem. So, among its benefits to him in religious life is tranquility of soul and reliance on God. May he be exalted, as the servant is bound to rely on his master. So this is sort of fits in with what we're learning in Sichot Haran. That if you're an Eved Hashem, if you're a servant of Hashem, or you're a soldier in the army, the soldier doesn't have to worry about the food, doesn't have to worry about the clothes, doesn't have to worry about you give me bullets for my gun. You're just a soldier in the army. You're a servant. For if a person does not put his trust in God, he places his trust in what is other than God. And whoever trusts in what is other than God, God removes his providence from him and leaves him in the hands of whatever he trusted in. he becomes like those of whom it is said, two evils have my people committed. They have forsaken me, a freshwater spring, to hew themselves cisterns, cracked cisterns, says that in Yirmiyahu. They exchange their glory for the image of a bull that eats grass. Um, so I think that paragraph is also in line with what we're saying, that all we have to trust in, we can't trust in ourselves. We can't trust in any field, in doctors, in anything. We have to put our bitachon, we have to put our trust in one thing, in Hashem, and to hand over every aspect of our lives, every aspect, shalom bayis, parnasa, health, everything, hand it over to Hashem and say, whatever you're giving me back this day, thank you, Hashem, and wake up the next day and do it again. All right, that's it.